Okay. What the hell? I am minding my own business. I am trying to edit the last episode, and you... What do you want, huh? Well, you got better deals. That's for sure. Okay. Actually, yeah, hang on. I'll be right back. Don't move. Don't move a muscle. Let's get the yield of Kabuka Town here. There we go. Alright, bucko. Let me just do one of these. I'm trying to edit like episode 7 or whatever that was, whatever the last one was. And then I was going to start on this one, which was going to be about something else. And then this guy just spawns on my bridge while I'm up there trying to light up Zactacon's office. You. Okay. Right. Yeah, I definitely want some of that. And definitely want some of that. And for good measure, take all those. Some of that. Why not? A couple of those. And a couple of Mona Lisas. You know what? Give me however much of this you're authorized to sell me. Yeah. See, people complain that the Wandering Traders... Why did that unlock? Oh, because I've never picked these up before. See, people complain a lot that the Wandering Trader sucks, and it does. It's actually really bad. So I've just gone ahead and I made it not suck. It's overall a good investment on my part, really. Like, you know, they spawn... They're so rare, you'd think they'd have good stuff. You know, I say rare. If you wait long enough, they just sort of pop up where the hell ever they want. But, you know... There's no reason to leave them around half the time, because it's like, I would like to sell you 1 kelp for 2 emeralds. I don't want that. I want them to be like actual wandering traders from the olden days that would roll into town with their camels and exotic dyes made from snail shells. Zactacon, where are we?
Well, this is the, Give me a second.
He never reads the goddamn script.
This is the Panamanian Port Authority's Southern Claims Office and Trade Hub.
Exactly. And why are we here? How is today different than any other day? As they say on the Jewish holidays. Well, it is a Wednesday, yes. How did we come to be at this land?
Struggle.
Struggle. Yeah. See,
Strife.
What I remember we got a report that an unlicensed Panama Canal was being operated out of this very district.
Yeah, you can
and we
see
went
it
down there. We politely offered the inhabitant a chance to sign a single-use, non-transferable Panama Canal access agreement, wherein he would be allowed, on his own terms, to construct a Panama Canal with no upfront fees and no monthly stipend. Some mere small provisions. And he started taking pot shots at us. That's what I remember.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He was building what looked to be a statue of himself.
Still a bit of it there.
Which I mean, you can see it like right off the side here. Which he then started lobbing explosive ordnances at. I might add.
Yeah.
Destroying through no fault of the Panamanian Port Authority. And ultimately, we were quite fortunately able to restrain the hostile and confiscate his ordnance. And we have since begun properly converting this into a territory of the Panamanian Port Authority, where hopefully it will be utilized to improve both trade and the overall quality of life for all citizens on both sides of this river. And anyone that says otherwise is a terrorist.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's the simple fact. I mean, refer to a map of the Abilene Federation, you will clearly see that the purview of Panama, and thus the title Panama Canal, which was being, I might add, illegally used here, falls completely under the purview of Oriol Zaktoken Ontervik, Royal Beemaster of the Abaloy Federation,
RBA.
and subsequently the Oblast of Panama. All right, so
It's right here.
the canal is open. So now let's construct and then cut a ribbon.
It's right here.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to do it, or are you going to use Zenican or the Everclip? That's the question.
Ooh.
Because if you use Zenican, it's going to burst into flames, but it'll definitely get cut. Use both. It's always an option. Just hit the F button a bunch of times and just click halfway in, so you never quite know which one breaks it. Got you in an ethical conundrum now.
I did it.
All right. It's now open. The what did we call it? The Fast and Furious presents Panama and Canal is now officially open. Oh Lord.
Back up.
We've got the first official terrorist attack.
Okay.
Not to be confused with the one we sustained earlier.
All right, I am now recording.
All right. I'm going to say this for the 5th time now that you're actually recording, which you know, probably if it was me would have done when I first logged in, but you know, I'm not here to judge. I am. That's literally my job. The boss will see you now. He's down the hall. You've been there. First door on the center.
All right. Okay, the Southern Office of Panamanian Inquiries.
Yes.
Just keep it shut.
I've been waiting. Have a look at that.
I see it.
Yes. Yes,
He wants you to
Is
assess
this
the contract.
Is this the same document that I read earlier?
Did you actually read the document?
I wasn't aware you read it.
Well, I was saving it to read on camera, and then I never did, so...
Well...
You want me to read it?
You really only need to read the first 3 pages. The rest is all legalese preamble.
No, yeah. I'm seeing some interesting
not too important.
Terms and conditions. Year 2 grant officers of the Pentacameral Oberhive, a non-exclusive, transferable, and irrevocable right to use, modify, transform, adapt, transubstantiate.
Transubstantiate.
All right, this is not important.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Jesus Christ. Somehow he's in there. You know, you hereby agree to surrender your immortal soul, payable on delivery to the interim office administrator, Zaktoken.
Yes. Oriol Zaktoken Ontervik III, actually. Different person.
Are you following along in your Word document?
Text document, but yes.
And grant any duly appointed representatives of the Abaloy Federation non-refundable access to any refrigeration units herein operated by the signatory. Yeah, no.
Well, we can't go. You don't want them to go through your fridge? Come on, it's a small price to pay.
Come on.
No.
You get a whole canal. Look at that.
Wait,
and
I
Dewey,
get the canal?
Understand that if you sign this, you get a whole canal and can later file a canal access agreement extension waiver to get more canals.
You herein agree to retract and renounce all claim or statement made to imply syntax created or otherwise originating from entities not classified by the Avalanche Institute of Submarine Biology as being sapient. The signatory agrees to herein to transfer power of attorney and all monetary and political holdings to the Abaloy Federation and its representatives in the event of the signatory's timely or untimely cessation of existence, herein including but not limited to mortal injury or irreversible spatial or temporal displacement.
It could happen. It happened to me.
And the last page is a signature.
Provisionally signed, his esteemed self, the Honorable Dr. Oriol Zaktoken Superfly Ontervik, Royal Beemaster, RBA, MD, PhD, MD, PhD of the Panamanian Review Board. They are referred to as ya boy. Yeah, there's still no sound coming out of your speakers, Dewey. There's nothing.
I'm talking. I'm here.
Well,
where'd he go?
A minute ago. He ate a forest fruit.
I was speaking. I wasn't speaking for dramatic effect.
Can I look over that? The one with holding the camera.
Well, it does still have 18 pages.
That's good.
I didn't actually delete any of it.
Really? You didn't? Okay. Can I see the
Now,
contract?
now, see where it says sign here. He typed in no.
Okay. But
Um,
the book is still signed by Dewey.
that's true.
I think we've got
I
ourselves
But
a contract.
yes.
Yes, it turns out I didn't have enough footage of that to make a whole episode, so we're back over here. See, I've scheduled this episode to be the Panama incident, and then the next one was just going to be me renovating that over there. So now I got to combine those two, or I got to find something else to do, and I guess that's something else in this particular instance is I have to go back into my bed and sleep because I don't want to do this at night because then I can't see and the video looks bad. Let me. There we go. The There's some game mechanics that I find don't work well together, like elytras and water, or water and water. Any combination of water, really. So instead, I've just done this, and this is going to be the big entertainment spot of the episode. It's just going to be me doing this and hoping it works. I don't know if there's any mycelium left under here. I don't know if I've been in the area long enough for it all to despawn, but we'll find out. Oh, Lord. Okay. Yeah, the problem is that if you get out of range, yeah, that happens. All right. Well, that looks good. I don't see any mycelium. All right. How about that? Now I just got to pick up all these 1,100 stacks of logs. There was a lot. I should have brought my shulker box with me so I would have somewhere to put these. That's my fault. If only I had some wood to make a chest to put it all in. Don't you ever have that problem? I know I do. My God, there's a lot of this. Of course, you know, it's birchwood, so I'm not going to be too sad if some of it despawns, but, you know, birchwood is objectively the worst. People will tell you that that's a subjective statement, but they're wrong. Okay, let's analyze birchwood here. All right. It certainly back in the day, probably not anymore, but back in the day, birch trees were a lot harder to grow than oak trees because they needed way more space. And then they don't even drop apples once you do that. I had to make them drop hazelnuts, which I don't even think really grow on birch trees. But then again, you know, apples don't grow on oak trees. There is a such thing as an oak apple, but it's used exclusively to make wasps' nests. So don't eat them. There could be a wasp inside. You know, you can't grow them in a 2x2 to get all that wood for them. They don't grow into the big variant like oak trees, so you get all that wood from there. And if they do grow large, it's because they grew really goddamn tall, and then you can't even chop them down easily because you got to get goddamn scaffolding. Okay, let's think about that for a minute. And you know, you can't grow them in the big squares like you can with jungle trees or dark oak trees or spruce trees. Okay, you can't just use the logs for decoration because look at that. And you can do that with every other log, especially acacia log. And if you're not familiar with Oriel Zachtokenontovic's unique pronunciation of the word acacia, that's how he says it, and unfortunately is how I've started saying it too. So really, when you think about it, birch is just it's the worst. I've seen someone try to use birch logs just on their own in a building once, and it wasn't good. It was actually bad. I don't know what they were thinking. Fortunately, that world no longer exists. It was, well, technically speaking, it was annihilated via mostly my own fault. But I don't know if I ever mentioned what happened with the. I guess it was the Arcana Chronicle. It was the first map of that. We had the thing in the Dark Oak Forest, a million goddamn miles away from civilization. You know the one. There was a bug in Minecraft, one of the snapshots for like 1.8, I think. No, 1.8 was... there was a bug in one of the snapshots. Let's go with that. I realize I'm not doing anything actually worthwhile on the video. I'm looking for more logs that I might have dropped because I thought I had more than that, but maybe not. So there was a bug in the snapshot that was out at the time, and I don't remember which version it was for. 1.8 seems way too recent for that, so it might have been like 1. Well, I mean, let's see. 1.6 added horses, I think. And then we reset the map for 1.7, so it might have been for 1.8, actually. I guess we are on 1.14 now, so 1.8 was kind of a while ago. But, oh, there's more logs. But anyway, there was a bug where sometimes item frames would duplicate themselves several thousand times upon loading up the world. I don't know what was causing it, but rather than acknowledge that this bug was crashing the server and ruining everything, what I instead decided I would do is wait for the server to restart, because I feel like it was restarting every so often automatically. So I would put down a bunch of item frames full of like gold and diamond blocks and log off and wait for the server to restart. And what actually ended up happening was this conflated with the item frames I already had, which duplicated themselves several million times over, and well, basically reset all of the chunks because they weren't able to load or save properly because there were too many goddamn entities. So that happened, and then I forget what actually happened to the server in and of itself, but there was a reason that it got reset, certainly, and then we went over to the Las Rosca map, and then that just sort of shut down, and then I went back to the Las Rosca map after the Brennyn Sabar map reset, and now we're here. And you know all of this because I think I may have explained it all already in a previous video. But anyway, that's the story of how I saw someone using birch as a building material, and it horrified me to my core. It wasn't great. Alright, now what the hell am I supposed to do? I've done the birch thing. That's only 7 minutes. I need at least 20 for this to be worth my while. Now, I understand, of course, that essentially this video has now boiled down to me watching grass grow, which, as we all know, is frequently used as cultural shorthand for something very exciting. It's not. But I figured just for the sake of it, we'll come over here and update these maps. Because, oh, there we go. Look at that. Yeah, that you can see the stark contrast between the bright purple for some reason and that. Yeah, this is way better. And then after this, we're going to go test out something in my Datapack to make sure it still works after we updated the spigot, because it broke a lot of things. Mostly, like, it still works is the thing. It's just that it's screwing around with item data, which I didn't ask it to do, and that's causing issues. Like sometimes if I pick up a custom item that I made in the Datapack and try to stack it with a different item, or with the same item from a different point in the server history, it doesn't stack even though it should, because they're the same goddamn item. Let's see. Where do I keep them? Are they in here? No. Where do I keep them? Here. Here they are. Drill totems. This is a thing that I've added but never used because I haven't needed to. But we're getting close to the point that we can start working on our beachside resort, name pending, currently referred to internally as Sandals, Jamaica. And it means we're going to need a lot of hardened clay. Fortunately for me, that's exactly what drill totems are used for. Let's take the charcoal. Let's take like that much charcoal. 40 is a good number. And we really only need one of these. In the increasingly unlikely event that I die and lose all of this, which hasn't happened yet, but could. Actually, it did happen once. It happened once when I was debugging the Datapack and ran a command that kills you and teleports everything you have in your inventory into lava. It's not supposed to do that because it's supposed to be used on like a specific item that's supposed to kill itself and then teleport itself into the void or whatever. But unfortunately, it executed on me instead, and I died and everything went into lava, which is, you know, I had to replace my stuff, certainly. That's why some of these items may look a little different from the first 2 episodes. But rest assured, they amount to pretty much the same item. My trident also just sort of disappeared one day, so this is not the same trident either. I just threw it and it never came back. I'm still waiting. I'm gonna be wandering around somewhere in like the end or something. I'm just gonna hear boom. And it's just gonna come flying back to me. Now, there's a couple ways I could have done this, and Zacticon and I have run the numbers, and it actually takes the same amount of time for me to go and do this than it would for me to just boat back. But this feels like it takes less time, so I do this. And again, one of these days the Datapack is going to break and I'm going to fall into the void and die. But, you know, that's why we wear an elytra. There we go. That's always a concern. Okay. Oh, that's different. So, of course, now, what else got to take into account? The fact that I then have to go back through another portal. Do we finish your goddamn tavern? It's been sitting there for years. Okay, you got to understand, here's Dewey's train of thought. I'm going to build a secret government facility in the back room of a bar. Actually, no. I'm going to build it on an island. Actually, no, the island's going to be a city for gourds, I might add. For gourds. This isn't what Dewey sounds like, by the way. This is more like what Dewey sounds like. I'm going to build an island for gourds. No, actually, no, there's going to be this whole city for gourd. No, actually, I'm going to use it to build a zoo. Okay, so here's what I gotta go get the animals for the zoo. So I'm gonna go out into the middle of the goddamn ocean, 60 kilometers away. Of course, he says kilometers because he's Canadian. 60 kilometers away, and I'm gonna go bring back some dolphins instead of just waiting for them to spawn in the ocean 5 feet from my house. But then, actually, no, now I have to dig waterways to get these dolphins back. Actually, no, now I'm digging a whole aquatic motor thing. He called it something stupid that I'm not going to repeat here. Actually, no, wait, no. Now I'm a guerrilla warfare terrorist, and I'm gonna try to overthrow the Panama Canal. The man really can't keep anything straight, including himself. So it's a mess, really. And all the while, there's that goddamn bar sitting there behind the nether portal collecting dust. And I keep waiting for something to happen to it, and it never does. Just put these down. Alright, so how you use a drill totem, provided that this item still works, because it might have broken. You put it down. Okay, there we go. And then this comes up. If you right-click on this little shulker box here, you can see it's got an inventory. It holds 5 slots. It picks items up automatically when it's running. Of course, if I do that, it'll probably go in. Yeah. But it only holds 5 slots. So after that, you got to start collecting it manually. And then to run the drill totem, you just take a piece of charcoal. I'm going to let you in on a secret. This here is a minecart hopper, and this is a minecart furnace, but they're invisible because I'm clever. And then I put a different model over top of them. Okay? And then you just click on this little black part right here, and it turns green, and then it starts spinning. And of course, it occurs to me that I should have put it in the ground because it mines everything to the side of it, but we can see how this looks. Does a little circle, breaks that, and it goes into the inventory. And you can pick it back up. And of course, if you throw an item too close to it while it's running, it'll pick it up anyway. So there might be some applications there as well. Get out of here. I don't want to talk to you. Yeah, and you see now the beam starts extending out a little ways. And then it gets to, it does a full rotation. And every time it does a full rotation, the beam goes out one more. You can see it's here now. So that'll be mining blocks here. And so it's like a 9x9 circle, basically. It's not really a circle because, you know, everything works off of a cubic grid, but, and then it just occurred to me that it's going to, yeah, and then it goes down, and then it resets back to 1, and now it's going to start stealing my torches. Again, this is about as exciting as watching grass grow, I realize, but at least someone somewhere is probably learning something. It doesn't really matter what they're learning, of course, because at the time of recording this, my data pack is not available for public distribution. And so they could not act on this information if they wanted to. Oh, and see, it goes down about 3 layers and then it stops. But what you can do is you can just sort of spam charcoal on it until something happens. Okay, get out. Give me that. I saw you do that. It's not funny. Okay. And now we just sort of watch that for like an hour. And if you try to pick it up, it explodes into purpur, which is my way of sort of nerfing it, because otherwise you get endless mining forever. And it stopped. It's dead. Okay. So this is about how far 9 coal will get you. Get you about to down here. Let's see here. Yep, 15 cobblestone. So yeah, we found some gold. We found some coal. It's not too exciting. We are only at level 67, so we wouldn't have even found that gold if we were using it anywhere else. But we also probably wouldn't have been starting up a goddamn hill if we were using it anywhere else. You want to do it a little lower, a little closer to sea level. You know, down in one of those valleys down there. Like that flat stretch right there is perfect. Of course, you get red sand and yellow sand if you do it in the wrong place. So, you know, maybe that's not, that's not conducive to having an empty inventory slot in this thing. But, you know, it's better than all the way up here. This takes a while to get down to anything. Oh, God. All right, here's a payoff. We got all of this. I stained some of it white because I need specifically white glazed or stained or... Okay, no, glazed terracotta is the weird stuff that I replaced with the zealage tiles. This is just stained terracotta. You know, nowadays you got to go into the Badlands to get terracotta. Back when I was your age, you had to go into a mesa to get hardened clay. And we like to just find like that. You kids these days don't know what it's like. So just to recap, today we started by filling out paperwork, okay? And then we went over and we watched grass grow. And then after that, we went and we watched something else dig a hole for us. And now we're sitting here watching paint dry. All in all, I think that's a pretty exciting itinerary. Maybe that's just me. Others might disagree, but, you know, I'm having a blast. Winston, do we have enough for an episode now? Can I just stop? Okay. Yeah, we're done. Oh, what, you still here? I barely had enough footage for the actual episode. You think there's going to be something after the credits? No! It's over! Go home!